Yes, and good morning. I am a little bit out of character without well. I show up typically my button down, but I just got finished doing some workout stuff here, and I've been pondering resilience because I got in a little bit of a conversation with it earlier, and that photograph is not a PDF, so I can't load it here. But I heard or I read somebody comment that resilience is a soft skill. No, it is not. It is not a soft skill. Resilience is a condition of your body and your nervous system. And I would, oh, wait. I might be able to, let's see what this says. Okay. Slide, PowerPoint, and PDF. Okay. It would take me a few minutes to create the PDF. When I was a firefighter, we used to test ladders. And the reason we tested ladders is because we would oftentimes have to come down a ladder and we practice this. And sometimes if it involved carrying a patient out of a second or third story window and you were on a ladder, you had to learn how to carry that patient while they were potentially fighting with you as you went down the ladder, because speed is of the essence. It's not like we have time to hook up safety harnesses for everybody. Ladder goes up, guy goes out in the window because he has to help the patient come out the window, and that patient may not be in a condition. Anyway, we got to learn how to do that. And one of the ways we did that was you were the patient. So that meant that you were just kind of blip, and they picked you up and sit you up against the wall, feet on feet, blip, up you. Oh, we had a hiccup. We position you a certain way, and then down the ladder you go. And if you do it right, the person can be bigger than you. So they did where I was working, they did this interestingly. They seemed to match up bigger people with non-bigger people. And I got one of the smaller female, which was a great lesson. It was cool because then we could say, oh, she can do it. Everybody can. But there were people, anyway, that ladder needed to hold both people. And one of the ways we tested those ladders is and there's organizations that do that now. They keep these records. They leave that record with the fire department, but they put the ladder between two horses, nice and straight. They measure from the ground to the top of the rail, and then they put a weight on it, several hundred pounds, and it has to stay there for a certain length of time. And then they lift the weight off of there. And that aluminum ladder, zipping, yeah, all by itself because of its innate qualities. And they measure again, and it has to be within a certain very, very small window. Otherwise, that ladder's out of service. Otherwise, its resilience brings it back into a place of service. And that's what resilience is. Now, so I look at this two ways. How do we build that? How do we get that innate quality? Well, there's a couple of things. One is if you're traumatized, not going to happen. You have to clear that slate off. That ladder's already out of service. So let's make it serviceable. And we can do that when it comes to human beings and trauma. That's what I'm in business for. But I just finished doing some physical stuff, and that's what's kind of stemming this little video here. Anyway, what I want you to know is that when it comes to building physical resilience, it's using, like, say, kettlebells or resistance bands or dumbbells or something like that. It's Wednesday. I'm not going to do a serious workout on a Wednesday, and I don't get up at 4 a.m. to do this kind of stuff. I work out once a week because A, I'm not going to be like Arnold Schwarzenegger. B, don't want to be like Arnold Schwarzenegger in his prime. What I do want is strength and endurance and resilience. And anytime I'm doing something, when I first started lifting or resistance work with either bands or kettlebells or weights, you always start with a lower weight, right? and then you get yourself to do it. Your body needs to adapt to this sudden challenge of weights, bringing a fly from out here, okay, or the iron cross, which I can now do. And the iron cross is kettlebells in hand, up they go, down they come, back up they go, down. You can reverse this curl down the back side of the curl. Now they're down at your side, and you bring them up and hold it. And then you bring them down. I got a table over here. So anyway, that is what it means to do the iron cross. And so the first time I saw it, I was like, and now with my shoulders, I've been working on my shoulders. The shoulder reliever, oh man, what that thing is so good. Anyway, and then so there is this ability to create higher resilience, meaning come back to my shoulders. Couldn't do what I needed them to do. Couldn't do what I wanted them to do. So I had to find a way to strengthen these, to work with my real small muscles in here. And so I did. And guess what I can do? I can do the iron cross, low weight, and that's okay. This is where it starts. Will I ever get to bigger weight? I don't know. Right now, just the fact I could do one day was enough. Now I can do several. And it's no different if you're trying to practice the pull-up. Now I have an issue. You might be able to tell here that arm doesn't go straight. Nah, I don't know that's it right there. You can see the difference between the two. And that, I don't know what's causing that. Still working on that. But to do a pull-up then, if it just means hanging there, you just hang there. All right? That's day one. Day two, maybe you hang there a second longer, 4 or 5 seconds. Day three, the same thing. Day four, however long it takes before you can go just once. And that might involve just, halfway up, and then 3/4 of the way up. And then, pretty soon you're going to find something. Something happens inside here in terms of motivation and desire. But that's how you build resilience. Now this becomes a neurophysiological capacity in your body. I said that correctly. You heard that correctly. And doing things to create nervous system, neural capacity and resilience involves two things, especially if you're traumatized. One, you have to get the stuff that's soaking up your energy out of the energy. If your body is all constricted and tight because of trauma, because that's the way it's been for X number of years, for me it was 58, then you need to get some of that garbage out of your body. That was my case. Couldn't do anything upper body, slamming headaches until I started a tremor. The completion and discharge process changed all of that. I can do an iron cross now, for crying out loud. That would have been impossible 10 years ago. Doing curls hurt. A military press? Out of the question. Now I can get them done. It's really cool. So getting stuff, the constriction out of the body first, which is a neurophysiological response pattern, is what needs to happen. And then we can start building the little by little. I mean, take either the Turkish get-up or the windmill. Both are hard on the body if you don't do them correctly. So the get-up, you start laying on the floor with the kettlebell aimed at the ceiling so that your arm is straight. Then the idea is to get up. That stays above your head the whole time. So you get up. First, it's doing a, kind of a sit-up. Yeah, okay. You can guess where that's going to work. Then the leg has to come back through. So you go into lunge, then you stand up, then you reverse that. So watch a video of it and do it with no weight at all. Find out where the problem is, stop there and work on that until you can do the whole thing without weight, both sides. Same thing with the windmill. The windmill is a tricky one. It's a core exercise, there is no doubt. But you start with the windmill up above. Now so I've got my right hand in the air. My left hand would be down my leg. And what I do is I just turn, slide my hand, which is on my leg, my left hand on my left leg, and my left foot steps slightly forward so that I just go down and back up. Again, if this is not there, if the strength and mobility is not in your shoulder, that's going to be an incredibly difficult move, even without weight. So then to put weight in it, which I can now do, thanks to doing the shoulder reliever, I can now do the windmill. But I guarantee you are going to feel that right in your midsection. Right there at the old hipparinos. And that's kind of where I still have an issue. So again, I can't do many of them, but I can do them. And that's one you want to start with to get the body mechanics down. You want to be able to do good 10 or 12 of those in a row with good body mechanics before you add weight. So it's the same thing when you're building resilience in your nervous system. So let's take a great area where trauma impacts people, social relationships. Yeah, that's a tough one. And you want to do some warm-ups with getting some emotional intelligence, make sure you're thinking clearly, and all of that stuff this is how we progress in the program at Raise Your Resilience. All right, so you get down to the social stuff, and now we have to learn to take risk. And that is adding a little bit more weight and adding a little bit more reps. The idea here is that there is a risk involved. Yes, if I add weight or I add reps, there's a potential I could get a minor injury. What did you learn? All right. Yep, you learn. Now, and when I say 1 rep more, I mean 1 rep more, maybe 1 pound more, maybe 2 pounds more. The more you get done and can handle and adapt to, the bigger the increments you can do. A body in motion stays in motion. All right, so that's what you want to look at here is how much risk can you tolerate? So if that just means saying hi to somebody on your way past, that's all you do. If you heard that they were on vacation, you could say, "How was your vacation?" And they could say, "Great." And that's all you can handle. That's all you do. But as you progress in those little things, then you can, hey, I heard you were on vacation. How was it? And they say, "It was great. Where'd you go?" "Well, I went to Florida. I went to California. I went to Colorado. I went up to Canada. I went to Hawaii." You might, "Oh, yeah." Or, "Hey, okay, maybe you've been to some of those places. Did you go to or did you see?" Okay, now the conversation has ventured into the 30-second range. There's some risk here. All right. And you get to find out where they're comfortable. Just listen for those closing statements. "Did you go see such and such?" "Nope." End of conversation. If they say, "No, but they want to continue that conversation. So be careful for those. Just listen for those. Hey, and I'll get into personal rejection some other day. But here's the thing. You develop resilience. You just develop your capacity to do and stay and be there for more, which means that in the times that those situations really warrant it, guess what? You'll be ready to do it. Part of what that does then is as you start to do this with senior people and things like that in relationships at work, well, then they might start asking for your input. That's where all this stuff comes from. And you might have great input. If a boss just out of the blue says, "What do you think about such and such?" and you don't have any thoughts on such and such, do not fake it. Just say, haven't given that much thought, to be honest with you. Would you like me to, and then get back to you? See, 2 sentences, 3 maybe. Opens a door. That's just it. But those are the little steps that we take to, hey, how about a cup of coffee? See where that works? Now we're talking romantic relationship possibilities. You can tell where I come from. I'm old school. Hey, how about a cup of coffee? Because to me, the dinner is the second one. All right. Hey, let's go. Would you be interested in? Or maybe there's a couple coffee dates and you start to feel a little bit more. And now you're in a situation where the two of you can just learn each other. That's a possibility. So, anyway, those are some of the ways that we can build resilience. And honestly, get yourself a cheap little pair of 10-pound. I don't know if they make them lighter than 10 pound. They might. I think dumbbells come in relatively small weights, and you can do some of these. I just got finished doing some back stuff. So some rows, and I do the row elbow close, then I do the elbow out, because if you're rowing, elbows go out. This is just a weightlifter's version. And then, and I'm not doing these, I just one set of each, 20. And I do 10 elbow close, 10 elbow out. And then I do some chest. So I do flies, and then I do some presses with my kettlebells. And then I do squats just to keep these muscles warmed up and ready to go. Start actually creating some challenge to the breathing. And that's it. All that's doing is building my ability and keeping it there. Oh, got tightness in there. Anyway, that's all that maintaining, but still that capacity and that resilience. So if there's demand, I can meet it. Does that make sense? All right. Well, if you got any comments, you know where to leave them. If you have any questions, you can email. You can either check in here and DM me or Lecky at raiseyourresilience.com if you have questions. Thanks. I'll talk to you later. Bye.